So it's come out. It's come out. And this is almost sounds unbelievable. And this is something that I was talking about last week. Like, I feel like this woman is something's gonna really break on it. So apparently this woman, what's being said, allegedly, not allegedly, but they got the documentation, Candace Owens does, that this woman she's not black. She's not black. Her parents aren't, her one is Indian, but they saying the other one's possibly white.
Really?
So I want to hear what Candace Owens said. Candace Owens did a research. Shout out to Candace.
Research,
she did some straight raw
investigative reporting.
Investigative research.
Go, Candace.
So let's hit this clip. I want to see how, because I know she just got back on, was able to start going back live on her channel because it had, I think she had some strikes or something on there for the Kanye thing. But she came back hard with this one. With this, I'm like, darn, woman, you do your research, don't you?
Happy Tuesday. I can tell you guys one thing. The powers that be really did not like our episode yesterday, because after we crossed 500,000 views in less than 5 hours, suddenly we got hit on YouTube with this bizarre age restriction. We've never been hit with that ever before. It said that we somehow violated the policy on graphic violence and nudity. I mean, what? We literally just read Kamala's book and pointed out a major discrepancy. Mainly that her grandmother, who she produced a photo of herself with, happened to die before Kamala was born.
Keyword,
so, yeah,
produce.
Seems a little odd. Just asking questions here. Well, today we were able to secure the birth certificates and the death certificates and some marriage certificates, which confirm that Kamala either made a huge mistake, all by accident, or she outright lied because she wanted to convince the public that she was black. Do not go away, you guys, because this is about to get crazy. Welcome back to Candace. Wow.
Right.
All right, so let's recap. Yesterday, I can admit I was completely triggered. I was triggered by the manner in which the Guardian, or a Guardian reporter rather, treated Janet Jackson in a profile piece. It was very obvious they were trying to do the wacko jacko bit again, like they did with her brother. So to remind you, Janet Jackson brought up in her interview human trafficking, child trafficking, and the journalist then decided to heavily imply that Janet Jackson was just nuts to pretend that we have a child trafficking issue in this country. And then when the reporter switched gears and asked her about supporting Kamala Harris as the first female black president, you know, Hollywood's all got to get in line and support this woman or else.
I didn't notice that.
Janet Jackson simply said that she had heard that Kamala was not black and that she was in fact Irish, and the media predictably went completely crazy. I mean, here are some of the headlines here. NBC, Janet Jackson tells interviewer she's heard Kamala Harris is not black, echoing election disinformation. I love that word. Newsweek, Janet Jackson's Kamala Harris remarks spark black backlash. The Independent, she's not black. Janet Jackson makes shocking comments about Kamala Harris's heritage. And of course, the New York Times, Janet Jackson repeats false claims about Kamala Harris's race. False claims. So to be clear, all Janet Jackson said was, quote, "That's what I heard, that she's Indian, that her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered that her father was white."
She
okay?
innocence.
That is all that she said that led to all of this craziness in the media trying to paint her like she was some sort of a psycho. And then her manager, a guy named Mo El Marzi that I'm showing you a picture of here, he offered an apology on Janet Jackson's behalf to BuzzFeed. He said, quote, "Janet Jackson would like to clarify her recent comments. She recognizes that her statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. Janet respects Harris's dual heritage as both black and Indian and apologizes for any confusion caused. She values the diversity that Harris represents and understands the importance of celebrating that in today's society. Janet remains committed to promoting unity and understanding," end quote. And guess what happened? Janet Jackson fired him immediately and said that he was not authorized to make that statement at all. And she was not apologizing because she was not sorry, and good for her.
Right.
Yes.
I'm glad she fired him. I am so tired of people being so fake, having to apologize for something that should not have yielded any response from the media. In fact, it should have been the opposite. They should have went ahead and investigated the claim that Kamala Harris is black, gotten to the bottom of it fully. But instead, it was a media pylon. And then, after being fired, Mo added to that pylon by referring to Janet Jackson as unbalanced. Like, the person who just worked for her came out and was like, she's unbalanced.
Of course you're going to say that. You got
with
fired.
friends like that, who needs enemies? Then came me. I don't know. I guess I really am the person that has been in these streets, Kamala, because I decided to simply look into her genealogy, because why on earth is the world trying to convince me that this woman is suddenly black?
Right.
They just decided she was black because she's running,
Right.
and because there is evidence, it is true, that her father grew up in Jamaica. Your race does not magically change because of where you grow up, okay? If I grow up in Sweden, I don't get to suddenly say I'm white, okay? And what I discovered was quite startling. Now, I'll ask you, when did you
Wow.
first get the idea that Kamala was black? Well, you'll say, yeah, when she kind of started running with Joe Biden. And that claim really came from Kamala herself. When they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, they understood that Kamala Harris published a book in 2019 called The Truth That We Hold. And presumably the book was filled with truth that she was holding.
Okay.
I had to look through it. And I saw this picture of her and her grandmother, clearly a black-looking grandmother, on page 282 in the photograph section. It reads, as you can see, visiting my paternal grandmother, Beryl, in Jamaica. Also on that same page, there's another photo of her. Again, you can see it's black and white. I'm not quite sure why it is black and white, but it says, when I was 10 months old, I visited Spanish Town, Jamaica. This is me with my mother and my paternal grandfather, Oscar Joseph. And now this guy looks mixed. He looks Asian of some description, but you can see the idea here is that she's definitely trying to introduce, in a manner of photos, things that make her race look more complicated. So I
Right.
just decided to investigate that, and immediately things got weird, very weird. First and foremost, because it was very easy for me to determine via just a light search online that Beryl, her alleged paternal grandmother that you just
Here we
saw,
go.
died 4 years before Kamala was born in 1960.
Wow.
So last night we decided to continue
So
our
who is that?
research to see if we could
grandmama.
find birth
I know.
certificates and marriage certificates and death certificates, which
I'm talking about in the picture. Is that AI?
That
It's
was
AI?
Beryl.
Okay.
That was Beryl, but that picture looks that could have been easily photoshopped
Oh,
together,
so she's
and they
plugged
blended
in.
it just to
Oh.
match that other side. Because you can do a blend and you can do a match where the application will AI options will kind of blend to the settings.
Okay.
And because I was looking like, wow, somebody did a good job. Maybe that is real. But when she said that the lady had been passed 4 years before, I'm like, well, yo, somebody altered that photo.
Yeah.
They paid somebody on their team to alter that photo.
could further signify those points, and indeed it did. And it also raised even more questions about her genealogy, so let's go through those. Here is the birth certificate for her paternal grandmother. This is Kamala's paternal grandmother, Beryl. Okay, now you can see on this birth certificate that Beryl is spelled with an I. It's Beryl Magdalene. And you can see the reason why we know this is the correct Beryl is because the mother is listed as Iris Finnegan. Later on, we're going to show you in the book, she names Iris Finnegan as her great grandmother. So that would be Beryl's mother. So we have the right woman. Also, formerly, her maiden name is Allen. That is true. It also says here that she's born in October of 1917 in St. Anne. That's the St. Anne parish of Jamaica. And again, you can see it says that it is signed by Iris Finnegan. Very clearly, this is the woman that we are looking for. This is Kamala's grandmother, alleged grandmother, Beryl. It's also interesting, by the way, that it lists her great-grandmother as a seamstress because Donald Harris, Kamala's father, wrote in a 2020 piece called Reflections of a Jamaican Father, quote, Miss Iris, that again would be his grandmother, was the mother of 8 children, too, was the sweetest and gentlest person one could meet, but underneath it was a tough farming woman who ran the cane farm at Thatch Walk near Annan Town, jointly owned with her husband, Mr. Christie. Okay, that's weird. So you're telling me that she ran a farm because on that birth certificate it says that actually Iris was a seamstress, but whatever. Let's just
Go with
park that
it.
aside
Okay,
for
yeah,
a second.
right,
and stick
right.
with Beryl, this woman who died before Kamala was born, okay? Because I was feeling pretty certain that not too many people were going to be named Beryl and be born in the St. Anne parish of Jamaica in 1917 to a mother named Iris Finnegan. I felt confident that we could find a little bit more data, and in fact, we did, okay? First, we stumbled across Beryl's marriage certificate. Okay, so you can see that right here. And now the name spelling has changed. You have Beryl Finnegan spelled with a Y in the same way that Kamala spells it. And it lists their married date as 1944. Again, you can see the parish that is listed is St. Anne Parish. This is where every piece of Beryl's life seems to take place. It reads here that her calling is a barmaid. And something that jumped out at me was the fact that she's married to someone, as you can see, named Lawford Newland. Okay.
Right,
So Beryl apparently was married more than once, because Lawford Newland is not Donald Harris's father, but Beryl is his mother.
Okay.
So just to be clear, again, it says that she married a guy named Lawford Newland in 1944. When she was 25 years old, okay? It's important to note that that would have been 4 years after she gave birth to Donald Harris, Kamala's father. I find that to be very strange. Also, regarding Kamala's father, we cannot seem to locate, regarding Lawland Newland, the person that she married, we can't find him. Can't find him anywhere. We cannot find a birth certificate. We cannot find a death certificate. We can't find a news item or otherwise. I cannot find this alleged Lawford Newland that apparently her grandma got married to.
Wow.
We also can't find a wedding certificate for Beryl and Oscar.
Lies, lies, and lies.
Wow. Look how deep she is.
That's
going, and she's really like,
yeah,
did the homework, you know?
That's crazy. And so my thing is, when somebody bring up some research like this and they bring some facts of it, these people going to have to explain, because this information will get around.
My question is,
get around to say, and it should get back to her and say, hey,
why lie?
Explain this.
Exactly. And if there's a paper trail, then know that there is a paper trail,
but
or the lack thereof.
I do feel like governing bodies, just like Obama, this is the same thing like Obama, altering birth certificates, hers altering certificates. This is the stuff that these people have, these people on their teams to go out and do for them. I believe that they have somebody on their team that can scratch their stuff and do their stuff for these people. This is why it's the deep.
How much further are you trying to watch this?
Well, we only gonna go to a certain point.
Oh, okay.
But this is the deep state. This is why it's truly the deep state.
Wild Joseph Brown Harris. That is allegedly supposed to be Donald Harris's father. Okay, so Kamala's grandfather is Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown Harris, and we can't find a marriage certificate between the two of them. That's very strange.
That is crazy.
As speculated, we were able to confirm that Kamala's black grandmother that she showed us in that picture died in 1960, before Kamala was born. I can show you right now her death certificate. Let's take a look at Beryl's death certificate, which confirms. As you can see there, it says that she died in July of 1960. It also tells us on the right-hand side, you guys will probably have to zoom in on this, but she died of a uterine infection, uterine fibroids due to a hysterectomy. It has her listed as 39 years. That's actually a couple of years off from 1917, so somebody may have gotten their math wrong here. But you once again see that it lists her birthplace as St. Anne. And so this is a huge scandal. Just an absolutely huge
this that thing
scandal.
We talked about. Then in Machine,
Kamala Harris published in her book that she was standing next to her grandma Beryl. But Grandma Beryl died in 1960, 4 years before Kamala Harris was born.
Wow, they just plugged her in.
Yo, listen, look how deep the lies are. Look how much they have to lie. And her, just like Obama, bruh, lying. And these people are I feel like these people are cut from the same cloth. They got the same people that do the work for them. And I bet you it's somebody in the government. I bet you it ain't no private party. It's somebody in the government that in support of that campaign that will going deep like that. They
And
got
change
and
the-
they got the tools
yeah, and
and
create
resources
it.
going to the databases.
Yeah,
And
because go back and look at the handwriting on that marriage certificate where what's his name, whatever, Newman or whatever his name was. Look at that handwriting and then look at the cursive on that what she just showed us, the last thing, the death certificate.
yeah.
Just look at it and see if there's any similarity there. I mean, why lie about who you are, your heritage? I mean, why lie about that?
I believe the American, not the good American, the one that vote smart, or the ones that don't vote smart, I'm sorry for that, would still accept you. But she created the whole black narrative, and I believe that came from Obama.
To be relatable.
I believe that came from Obama and saying, you need to do this, you need to say this, because this is how you get black people.
But people want you to be your authentic self, your authentic, true, genuine self. People who say they don't like Trump, it's because I feel that it's the brashness, and sometimes he is just surreal with what he says. If you still hung up on the racist thing, then you on a whole nother planet, because that's been debunked 1,000+ times.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, the thing about Trump, what makes him authentic and genuine, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. We've seen him. He's been this person. To me, he's more polished now than he was when he first got in, because that mouth is what kind of turned me away initially. But be authentic. Be your true self.
That's true.
You don't have to lie.
You'll
gain more people with your realness.
And I believe that she would get that group of people. Now, you go tell the truth, then you might get the Indian population a lot. You get people will still, if you aren't black, people are still gonna be like, well, we still want her. People would still genuinely go for her on a political side without the lies. But the lies is supposed to seal the deal, because black people need to be somebody needs to be able to relate to us, kind of thing. So we vote for them.
Yeah.
So look at this, man. Look at the lies.
Wow.
Look at the scandal, man. And I believe that this is going to be. You see how this just came out? Today about this? I believe this is going to be a big thing. This is going to circulate across the airways. It's going to get around, and then this is going to be a big thing. And I think this is going to expose her. I do. I feel like this is the exposure, babe.
It's down the trail. The hole is being dug, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Look at the crumbs. There, she's leaving a trail. So just follow the crumbs. They're going to lead somewhere, and it's not going to be what people thought.
I agree with that.
Well, even those that don't really support her policies and how she moves already know things, but those that continue to want to believe the hype and still support her because she's a black woman, well, she says because she says she's a black woman,
right?
They'll see, but that doesn't matter to those people. Mm-hmm. They don't care what the policies are. They don't care if she lies or any of that. They just want to support her because she says she's a black woman.
So now
how
she
stupid
do
is
you
that?
lose everybody? All you black?
How stupid is that?
But time will tell. All right, man. 2024, be more.
Talk less.
We're going to see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. Love you guys.
Bye.